There we go. Nice. Certainly, good morning, everyone. Good to see all of you here. It is indeed an honor to be here representing ORA. Um, for those of you who don't know, the Office of Regulatory Affairs, or ORA, is the lead office in the field for all field activities for the FDA. We deal very closely with international, federal, state, territorial, and tribal regulatory partners to ensure the safety and the protection of public health. We also, of course, work very closely within the agency, such as with CDER and CDER, to ensure that FDA policies are clear and consistent. So we work very hard in meetings, both in person and, of course, virtually, as well as sharing activities in the field with joint inspections, et cetera, to ensure that we are all on the same page. I believe my colleague last year shared some ideas with you about program alignment, which was a reorganization of the Office of Regulatory Affairs that was designed to create a vertically integrated program aligned organization, one that better fit with the 21st century. It was quite honestly our biggest overhaul since we were brought online back in 1906. So it was a big change for us, and we're still working on some of the things, but I wanted to share a little bit with you about what we've done so far. Actually today, May 15th, marks the 1-year anniversary for when we stood up our newer office. So we're quite excited that we lasted this long in the reorganization, and that, of course, we've come so far and was able to continue with the mission. So, on behalf of the Office of Biological Product Operations, Division 2, the Office of Biomedical Research Monitoring Operations, West Division, the Office of Human and Animal Food Operations, Division 5 West, the Office of Medical Devices and Radiological Health Operations, Division 3, the Office of Pharmaceutical Quality Operations, Division 4, the Office of Enforcement and Import Operations, West Coast Import Division, and the Office of Tobacco Operations. Welcome to Northern California, I'm sorry. And I also wanted to give you an idea of just what all that just meant. We've reorganized, we've gone vertically integrated, so basically your supervisors, your investigators, the managers, the program directors are all in a single program now to help us streamline and get more expertise in a specific field. So overall, here are some of the things that have changed. The 5 regions that we were once organized in have been sunset, and we've stood up specialized programs, as I mentioned, with a program director for each of those offices that I just mentioned. The 20 district offices remain, and so when firms register with the FDA, they are still assigned to a district office. And the district director remains the official in the district that is responsible for state interactions, emergency response, employee safety, and facility management. But now is only responsible for a single commodity. Those other commodities now fall under someone else's expertise. And since we are in California, I have to remind you that we are in a very interesting state for a number of reasons. But for FDA, the state is so big it takes 3 district offices to cover. No other state has that number. So in addition to my Los Angeles district office, you all are currently in the San Francisco district, whose office is just across the bay in Alameda. And then our our southern border with Mexico is monitored by our Southwest Import District. So 3 district offices to oversee the state. The 20 district directors are joined by an additional 8 division directors. And those are the folks that are responsible only for a single commodity. They don't have the other responsibilities of the care and feeding, if you will, of the staff. And except for BIMO, each division has at least one investigations branch and a compliance branch. So the divisions mirror what the districts used to look like. So you have a portion that goes out in the field and then a portion that reviews that data and those documents that have been brought in by those field investigators. Now, recognizing all of this can be confusing, sometimes I get confused myself, and I've been dealing with this now for about 3 years with this. ORA has been kind enough to provide a web page that now tracks all of the program directors, district directors, division directors, branch directors on a single page. And so if you log on to fda.gov/ORA, you click on Contact ORA, and then you click once again on ORA Field Leadership Contacts, you'll see a list of all those individuals. And that's not only where we're located in terms of our physical presence, but also what division we belong to, how to contact us by either phone or email, and where, of course, we fit in the big picture in terms of who answers to us and who we answer to. Now, of course, I said we're a year into it. We're still ironing out some of the wrinkles in the fabric of the new organization, and we're certainly working to get a hold of just some of the new responsibilities, the shifting of responsibilities. But no matter how you label us on all those offices, we are still one ORA. And so I wanted to conclude my comments by sharing with you some of the successes that we've had over the last year by the numbers. So our first number is 4,670. That's the number of employees in ORA. All right, now, as much as that sounds great, the thing is about a third of those are investigators, which means at any given time, about a third of our staff is out in the field doing inspections. And quite honestly, one of them might be at your firms today. Wasn't planned, of course, but you never know. Our next number is 39,513. That's the number of inspections conducted by ORA in fiscal year 17, and that's over 76 countries. And I understand we are being viewed globally, so hopefully those individuals who can see the screen can recognize that some of their home countries are being visited by us as well. But I do want to make sure that you are aware that ORA continues to work on mutual recognition agreements. And of course, as you don't know, those are where the agency works very closely with regulatory bodies internationally to try to coalesce and align our inspection and investigatory processes so that we can consider each other as equal. And so anything they do, we can recognize, and anything we do, they can recognize. Our chief one that we're working on right now is with the EU. We're supposed to be completed with that sometime in 2019. About 28 countries will be joining on through that MRA. Right now we have a number of them completed: Austria, Croatia, Czech Republic, France, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Malta, Romania, Spain, Sweden, and the UK are now all under MRAs with us. So we very closely work with them and recognize their investigatorial processes as equal to ours. Next number is 45,002. That's the number of samples FDA ORA collected and analyzed in FY17, and that was over our 13 laboratories. And just like the district offices, the laboratories also went through a program alignment. So the laboratories themselves are now also aligned to specific commodities. And now we have specific laboratories that we send based, again, on the commodity that we're collecting. And those folks are standing ready to perform the testing. Next number, she kind of alluded to this one already, 15,318. That's the number of warning letters issued by FDA. Hopefully that is not what your mailbox looks like, but I do sign quite a few of them coming out of my office. Just interestingly enough, about 97% of those are signed by the Office of Tobacco Products as we begin to enforce all these wonderful new e-cigarettes that are showing up online and in your kids' hands as jewels, etc. So we are actively working on that, despite what the media wants to share with you. Next number, 9,199. That's the number of products that were recalled under FDA jurisdiction. And we work very closely, not only with the centers when we come to basically bringing in the data and getting those recalls classified, but also we are the ones that are responsible for going out and verifying that those recalls were indeed successful. And that could mean anything from visiting the firm that manufactured the issue or the problematic product to actually going out and looking at store shelves and ensuring that the product is no longer available for purchase by the consumer. Next number is 283. That's the number of arrests that were made by FDA as a result of violations, criminal violations of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. And of those, 226 actually ended in convictions. For those of you Law and Order fans, that's an 80% conviction rate. That mirrors the FBI. Thank you very much. So we're quite proud of that statistic. And then again, remembering and reminding you that not everything is civil. We do go after individuals who do it criminally, and we do get convictions when we do so. This is actually one of my favorite numbers. 455,342,091. Any thoughts? Products? No. Okay, I think you're going to like this one. That's the amount of fines and restitution that firms that have repeatedly violated the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act have paid into the FDA. 455 million. Sounds like a lot, right? Oh, you haven't heard it more. Wait, there's more. There's an additional $205 million worth of forfeited products and assets that we've also taken from firms that have violated the FD&C Act. So that's a grand total of $660 million that has been collected by the FDA on the FD&C Act. Now, if you're like me, you suddenly got excited. Unfortunately, FDA doesn't get to keep that money. That goes and is absorbed straight into the U.S. Treasury for redistribution. So unfortunately, we don't get to hold that cash. But again, to show that there is revenue potential when folks fail to follow the policies and procedures of FD&C. And last but not least, 3.07. Any thoughts on that one? That's how much it costs you per year to run ORA. Think about that. How many of you remember those Sally Struthers commercials from the 80s? I heard some giggling, so I know you all know what I'm talking about, right? So now I get to do my best impression and say, you know, for less than 7 cents a week, you too can help support the Office of Regulatory Affairs. I know I certainly think that that amount of money is worth it, and I certainly hope you do too. And again, I want to welcome you to the conference and hope you enjoy your couple of days. Thank you.